Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we are going to discuss season 2 of Hulu's original show, The Great. So this is another 10 episodes long. This came out in 2021. Picks off 4 months into the coup. So season 1 ends with the coup starting, right? Catherine, Orlo, Vergamentov against Peter and his cohort. And so what happened? How does this happen? They think it's going to only be a night, but it turns out to be a 4 month thing that Peter is held up with, his group in the palace, refusing to give up. But they still have a way of getting food, and they still have a way of getting water and stuff and live. So it's like a partial coup. It's a thing, and then eventually the coup ends because Peter's hungry and wants a pig, and so that happens. Now Catherine is still pregnant with Paul, baby Paul, who's still growing, but it's still a matter of what happens next. Right now that she is the empress, now that she's finished the coronation, the court is still not accepting of her. The rulers throughout Russia are not accepting of her because she's a woman. How dare a woman take the throne, right? How dare the emperor abdicate, which is straight fiction because Peter was killed during the coup. He was not, you know, allowed to live. So this is very loosely, extremely loosely based on historical fact within Catherine the Great's reign of Russia, come to power, changing it and stuff like that. So it was neat having Catherine try to bring art, bring science, bring education into the palace, into the nobility lifestyle. But then it's a matter of what happens when she frees the servants. What happens with that type of uprising? Can it actually be done? Will a civil war happen? What happens when the Ottoman Empire is starting to, push up within the boundaries to expand their empire and keep Russia out of it? So then a war is going to start with there. But then Catherine still wants to kill Peter, and Peter wants to kill Catherine. But then they love each other, but then they don't love each other. It's a very back and forth. It's very brutal, especially the fact that he inadvertently causes her mother's death after sleeping with her. That was a very interesting scene. Him revealing the truth to Catherine, his aunt, that he watched his mother drown his cousin Igor in the lake, and there Catherine was all these years later thinking that she just lost him because he ran to the lake by himself and just drowned because he had problems swimming. Very interesting. There was a lot of truths revealed. You have Orlo sleeping with women, sleeping with guys, experimenting. You have Archie trying to sleep with everybody. It was very interesting. It's very gory, of course. The first scene, you have these two kids kicking a head around. The opening scene of episode 1 of season 2. So it's very gory. It's very bloody. It's very violent, but it's heartfelt and it's questioning. It gives you the questions of, is there supposed to be separation of church and state? What happens when people do not acknowledge that there is a separation of church and state? What happens when there's only one religion allowed within a country by law, quote unquote? What happens if people from a different economic class can actually elevate their status, with such, right? What happens when you do give somebody a title and then they're murdered? The shaky death scene was just very hard to watch. I almost broke out in tears. I was like, because she was used as a pawn, right? Created as Lady Anastasia, right? But to show that everybody knew her as Shaky the Serf. And so why was she killed in making that statement from that horrid individual, and then Mariel just taking the gun and shooting her in the back of the head in revenge? Oh, I cheered. It's very interesting with this show because you get attached to these secondary, tertiary characters, and you cheer when they die because they are horrible, horrible humans, or you gasp when somebody else dies because they meant well. In the first season, when what's his face, Vlad, dies from pox, it was a very hard scene to watch. This with Shaky, getting ready for bed, and she didn't understand why, she was being threatened with a knife by this lady, and then her throat was slit and blood everywhere, and it's hard to watch. It was very hard to watch. On the Peter front, he's trying to change, but he can't break his ways, but he's still attempting, and then he's confessing things, he's doing a lot of growth, but he still winds up killing. There's a crocodile loose at one point. That was an interesting, storyline within Omens. A lot happens within these 10 episodes, but it goes so quick, and the storytelling is wonderful, the costuming is gorgeous, the makeuping is gorgeous, and the way that Elle Fanning and Nicholas Hoult have this dynamic of will they, won't they throughout the entire thing. They both are doing awful things, but you're cheering for both of them at various points. And it's interesting because Nick's character of Peter brings it to one of my favorite tropes. Just because bad is bad, was bad always bad? Or was bad good once made bad? Can bad stay bad, or can bad change to good? Can the antagonist become a protagonist? Very much a la to Zuko's character in Avatar The Last Airbender. He was very set, it's my destiny to destroy the Avatar. And then 2 seasons later, he goes, it's my destiny to help the Avatar. People can change. People can acknowledge the mistakes. People can learn from the past to bring them to the present to see what the future can be for the good of everybody. We, not me. Is Peter doing that? Can he continue to do that now that Paul's out into the world? Catherine's been very much a we the good of Russia. I want to do this for the good of Russia. So in a sense, it is a me for the we, but she is thinking more we, not me, kind of a thing. Yes, she did want to come to power. She did start the coup. But it was for the we aspect. Catherine's the we aspect. Peter's been the me aspect. But can Peter change to the we aspect? Can he help Catherine with that we aspect to bring Russia into a brighter future? We'll see. A lot of stuff was brought into this. The invention of Velcro, the invention of the roller coaster, little things. I thought it was very interesting. I don't think those are scientifically accurate, that they took place at a random science fair in Russia at that particular time period. I'd have to look it up. I'm not 100% certain, but I don't think it was... I don't think the refrigerator, Velcro, and a roller coaster were all built within the same year, let alone convention, and in Russia. The first roller coaster was in New York. That was the Cyclone at Coney Island. That's the first like functional roller coaster. I don't know where other ones were built in testing, but I don't think it was Russia at this fair alongside Velcro, alongside a stapler, alongside a refrigerator. I'm pretty sure it wasn't. I could be wrong. But again, this is historical fiction, so things are being taken from other places, and it's all fictionalized historically. That's the best way for it. The Great, Season 2 on Hulu. Incredible, incredible show. Very captivating show. Hold your attention. It doesn't matter what you're doing on the side, whether you're playing Pokemon, whether you're painting, whether you're crocheting, whether you're building Legos, whether you're doing something, right? It is so captivating, you're always going to stare at the screen no matter what. Love it. On to the next review. Mucho mahalo.